welcome to the next episode of Endoscopy Essentials. Today we have another biographical interview with my old friend Thierry Ponchon. Thierry, a warm welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Thomas.
We are sitting here at ESGE Days, and it's really rare that one person had so much influence on something developing. And I remember thinking back some years then when Thierry came with the idea ESGE needs an own meeting with live demo and stuff and so on. Many of us, including myself, said, with a background, we have our own meeting, etc. Thierry, my question to you, it's very clear that you did this. Do you think that in your professional career and of others, there's something like you fill your ego positively and then there's a point where you can lean back? Or is it a personality thing that you have to go on and refill it all the time?
No, I don't think it's a question of ego. It's the same when you become professor in France. Okay, I did not become professor to be professor because I wanted to change things. Okay, I wanted to a better position endoscopy in France at an academic level, but this was not for me. I was just the person in charge to do this. But okay.
But there's always a personal aspect. There is some satisfaction you must have because otherwise it's no fun, right? So when you have a good paper, it's good for your ego. What's wrong with that?
No, you're right, but this is not my main motivation. Okay, of course I enjoy it, but of course I am happy to, because ESGE Days now is very successful, but no, it was, I had this mission to do it.
But you are happy that you accomplished it?
I'm happy. Yeah. Yesterday, I must say we had the presidential dinner. And
there was a dinner yesterday where this was clearly highlighted again.
Yes, and then with some friends, we went to another place for dancing, not okay. And the place was reserved by young endoscopists. I could not imagine when I invented the ESGE Days that once I will go to a place only for fun, dancing, only dedicated to young endoscopists. And there was the logo of ESGE at the entrance of this place. So it was okay. Then I enjoyed very much.
In a hip city like Berlin.
Especially in Berlin.
The ESGE is labeled with young people.
Yes, it was great. That means it does demonstrate that ESGE is successful. And because the aim was to, of course, better train, especially young endoscopists, and to spread the message from ESGE concerning guidelines, etc. So,
how important do you think, I mean, there's this old dilemma between endoscopists being regarded as practical and non-scientific. How important it is in the scientific community and maybe how it's in France that good research is done, because that's still maybe partially missing.
Yes, of course, it's still missing, but nevertheless, this was my chance to, also your chance, is that, frankly speaking, I did not want to be an hepatologist. I did not want to be IBD specialist. Well, okay, I enjoy very much hepatology, IBD, etc. But there was clearly nothing to do because everything was already organized, such as for oncology. But endoscopy, it was a clear open field. Not only because of the technique, because we had to organize at this time clinical research and experimental research around endoscopy. Endoscopy was not well considered in Germany, okay? And in France too. I was the first professor more or less dedicated to endoscopy. It was not easy for me. Huh? But then, now in France we have several professors specialized in endoscopy. Several, but means maybe 15, okay?
15
maybe,
out
yes,
of?
Yes, maybe 15, okay.
As chairholders, as chiefs, or?
As professor.
Professor, yeah.
And I received, it was not easy for me to become a professor, not because I did not publish, but because I was not very academic. And recently, in fact, the board of professors, they congratulate me. But I take this very positively. I took this very positively because they congratulated me because I organized clinical research, and then the young could publish, and finally, that's why they could do a career. And this was my mission. Okay, I was just in this position. When you become professor in France or in Germany, then you have a flag. You have a flag, and you should take it into account. The flag, you should succeed. Okay, I'm in a position I should succeed. I took this position, but that's all. Same for ESG days.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, everybody who knows Thierry always seems to be chaotic and spontaneous, but Thierry, honestly, you are one of the persons I know with the highest degree of plans and persistence.
Yes, for sure. Yes, but I'm not. Okay. But in comparison to my mentor René Lambert or to Jean-François Ray, I'm not so well organized. I know. I'm not so well organized. I'm persistent, okay? I frequently succeed, okay? I never resign, okay? Never resign. But I'm not always well organized. But I know this. So I try to adapt myself.
But this raises the interesting question what you need to achieve something. Maybe if you are the perfect organizer, but you are not crazy enough, your vision is not big enough, then it's no good.
Yes. But I'm a little more chaotic than organized, I must say, you know. But no, in fact, I well remember René Lambert. And I'm looking like René Lambert. René was my spiritual father, and I was his spiritual son. And when we were together at a table with a lot of other guys, etc., professors, colleagues, etc., I think René always analyzed things differently than the others, okay? He had another perspective, okay? And finally, he was frequently very successful, very positive, and I have the same feeling. But this is natural for me, okay? I always think differently than the others. But that's okay. Sometimes it's wrong, but sometimes it's good.
We both remember René Lambert. He was your big mentor. Even for me, he was kind of a mentor. He was not an obsessive endoscopist, right? So he was more in oncology, but he had a good vision of endoscopy, didn't he?
Yeah, yes, he was opportunist. In fact, yes, he was clearly he saw the future. Okay, sometimes he was wrong, but nevertheless, he succeeded to promote endoscopy. But frankly speaking, himself. He was not really a good endoscopist. He was not totally dedicated to endoscopy. But he immediately realized that endoscopy is, of course, a very important tool and should be part of a training of a gastroenterologist. And he promoted endoscopy in France and in Europe. But he was not a particularly good endoscopist. He was a good gardener. He pretended to be the 6th best gardener in the world. So I was the 7th, okay?
As his pupil?
Yes. No, in fact, frankly speaking, I did not learn endoscopy with him, okay? I learned endoscopy by myself and my colleagues, but I did not learn endoscopy from him. I learned gardening. It was good.
And structuring things, despite
having
the reputation to be chaotic.
Yes, structuring things. And think differently than the others, and try always to succeed and to, at the end, I became better organized thanks to him, okay?
So going back to your origins as a medical student, when you were young, what brought you into medicine? Was that a long plan or?
No, my father was ENT surgeon, okay? I did not want to be a doctor, no. My father is a doctor, I did not want to be a doctor. I wanted to be an engineer. So my first 2 years after what we call baccalaureate, okay, I was in a school to become an engineer, okay. But in fact, I'm a little lazy. Huh? I'm less lazy now, but I was lazy at this time. So it was difficult for me to work on a regular basis, okay. So I succeeded, but I was not the best, okay, in this. So finally I decided why and the other person around me told me, why your father is a doctor, you should be a doctor too. It's okay, you will make money, okay. So at the end I said, okay, I accept to be a doctor. And
without being fully convinced, or just try. Which is the honest approach, yes. I think. You never know how this will develop, right?
Yes, and immediately I was very happy because I could organize the way, I could organize my time, okay? I was not obliged to work every day, okay? So I could work very hard sometimes, and okay, I could...
During medical studies?
Yes. Yeah. So I enjoy the medical studies. And in fact, it was not so difficult for me at this time. It was not difficult for me.
So I see. Your interests were primarily in engineering, but then somebody said, why not trying medicine? Did you think at that time already that you could combine the two and could develop things?
That's okay, okay. No, okay. You're right. In fact, I did, of course, I did experimental research, but then I was very close to engineers. I'm still very close to engineers, okay? I'm thinking like, more or less like an engineer.
Even at that time?
Yes, yes. But concerning my father, he was ENT, okay. So then I was a resident, okay? And I was resident in anesthesia, I was resident in intensive care, I was resident in ENT, because at the end I did not know what to do, okay? I want to be a doctor, okay, but which specialty? No, I did not know. And then at the end, I decided maybe I should be an ENT surgeon like my father, okay? But then I choose a position. I stay one day ENT surgeon. It was a disaster. So I told to the guy who was in charge.
Why? I mean, one day?
Because open surgery is not for me. I was lost. I don't know anything about anatomy. I lost the jugular vein, so no, it's not for me. So at this time I was not in Lyon, I was in Saint-Étienne, which is close to Lyon. And the guy who was in charge of the unit, he had also private practice. And I told him, I don't want to be an ENT surgeon, okay, forget. So I want to quit your unit. He said, no, stay. I need you in private practice. And because I need an assistant to perform, not dermatology, but to perform aesthetic surgery, okay? So for 6 months, I did aesthetic surgery. Yes.
Successfully?
Not bad. Yes. Liposuction, the breast, the nose, the ears, okay. And I wanted to continue, but aesthetic surgery is too commercial. And that's why then I had only 3 more semesters, okay? And to be gastroenterologist, you need at this time 3 semesters. And then I was really lost. Maybe the worst part of my life. I was lost, okay? Lost. And I had to select a new position as a resident. And then I was thinking, when I was ENT surgeon, nevertheless, I was good to remove bones from the esophagus with rigid endoscopy, okay? I enjoyed this very much. This was my only activity as ENT surgeon, okay? So, there is a nice position in endoscopy in Saint-Étienne. Why not to go and to see, huh? This was my last chance. And first day, I went to this unit, said, perfect. I will be endoscopist for life.
So your way into gastroenterology was primarily via endoscopy.
Yes,
it's not the basic science and lab, and then you discover something.
Yes, it's a pity. And I did three semesters in endoscopy.
Why it's a pity?
No, it's a pity because I'm not a great gastroenterologist. Okay, I'm not a great pathologist, but nevertheless, always, and that's why probably I was nominated professor, and always. I think that endoscopy is just one part of hepatogastroenterology. So I am basically an hepatogastroenterology. So when I was at UEG, when I was in a different position, I always take care that my colleagues from hepatology were also successful, okay? Same for IBD, etc. So I think I'm a hepatogastroenterologist dedicated to endoscopy, but I'm not an endoscopist. So this is very important.
It is, but what's the future? I mean, sometimes I think gastroenterology is like internal medicine 50 years ago, contains so many subspecialties that people have to focus.
Yes, it's an interesting debate, you're right. In France, hepatogastroenterology is separate from internal medicine long time ago. Probably it's still not the case in Germany. So we separate. But personally, I don't think endoscopy should separate from hepatogastroenterology.
But how would you organize it if you had to organize a department with young people, all in their 40s?
But I try to support colleagues performing. I try to support and promote hepatologists in my digestive disease department. Of course, I promoted endoscopy because I'm an expert in endoscopy. But in the same time, I obtained positions for hepatologists. I obtained some positions from oncologists. Okay, I think this is. I don't want endoscopy to be separated from hepatogastroenterology. And furthermore, there is a debate with the surgeons in France, probably the same. If endoscopy is separate from hepatogastroenterology, in fact, as a hepatogastroenterologist, I will lose endoscopy. Endoscopy will be performed by a surgeon. Okay. Nothing against the surgeon. But as an hepatogastroenterologist, I'm very strict concerning how people should be trained in hepatogastroenterology and how should be trained in endoscopy. Okay? I'm very strict. So there is no reason why I'm not strict also for surgeons. They should follow the same curriculum than us.
We had this discussion in Germany some 20 years ago, but I think basically the surgeons got so busy with laparoscopy and now robotics that the desire to go into flexible endoscopy is not huge in most countries. There are some countries where surgeons are traditionally involved in endoscopy. But that's politics now.
Yes.
Thierry, you are from Lyon.
Hmm?
So
no, I'm not from Lyon. I'm from Burgundy.
From Burgundy.
Burgundy.
Yes.
Mm.
And
north of Lyon.
But it's all one area. Mm. So when did you get to Lyon? During medical studies?
When I was 16. I was lazy at school, but I was always number one, number two. So the gymnasium, okay, decided that I should go to Lyon because I was okay.
So
even my name appeared in the local journal. Okay.
Oh.
Yes. Okay. Thierry Ponchon should go to Lyon. Yes. Okay. I was lazy but successful. And then I went to Lyon at this time, and I'm in Lyon since.
Since then.
Yes. And I enjoy very much Lyon. I know. Okay. I enjoy very much Lyon, but my family is still in Burgundy. I have also now an house in the French Alps. As you know, I bought at this time a church in the south of France. So I'm more or less from the southeast part of France.
Buying a church is an interesting aspect we can't discuss now, but it's like, you know, in other countries, people buy small stations. So it's a conversion of culture, which is fascinating. Thierry, final question to this very interesting interview. What's your advice for people when they come to retirement age?
They should be active. That's all. Okay, they should continue to be active because, okay, it's sometimes okay. I think I should really stop working, etc. But when I see some of my friends, they're retired, but they don't know what to do. They awake at 10 in the morning and, okay, it's not my case. I think the only reason to stop is you should avoid to be not well considered by the others, okay? If you are too old and the answer, okay, it's an old guy, always performing endoscopy and always trying to impose his wishes, etc. So at this time you should stop. As soon as you receive some negative feedback from the others, you should change.
But maybe you should continue in different positions, of course, huh? because the younger ones have to take the administrative lead and the organization and.
But I did, frankly speaking, because of EHG days, etc. I'm a little more political than in the past. Maybe you know, because you visited my house, I'm a specialist of ceramics. So my next adventure will be to have a museum dedicated to ceramics. Not German, huh? I don't know anything about German ceramics.
I can't help you, I'm sorry.
But French ceramics from 20th century. So I'm an expert. So yes, this is my next goal.
Well, that's a very interesting advice from somebody who has many, many interests, who could probably easily fill his time with starting the museum, but you're still in medicine, because it's just a fantastic area.
Yes, I'm okay. When you want to be a doctor, okay. I know a lot of colleagues. Medicine is fantastic. Okay, I want to treat patients. Okay, I enjoy to treat patients. Okay, but in fact, I think medicine is a fantastic field if you are a little adventurous, if you are academic. So it's a good combination of different way of thinking, different. If you are well organized, you can be successful. If you are not well organized, if you are adventurous, etc., innovative, you can succeed. So it's a fantastic way. It's a fantastic field.
But that's also a message, isn't it? That, of course, the primary motivation is to treat patients.
Yes.
But maybe the different way of thinking of René and yourself is that don't forget the structure. We have to do something with medicine as a structural thing, a political thing,
of course,
to keep it alive.
Yes.
Not only treat patients better and better, but don't forget the factors, the logistical factors.
No, but
around.
this is a combination of all. I'm happy to treat patients. I'm happy to see patients. I'm happy to discuss with patients. Sometimes I'm thinking like a patient. Okay, so I take care of a patient. So to exchange with a patient is of course very important for me. But in the same time, we need to better structure the healthcare in general. So this is also very important, and you can innovate, you can be more academic. So okay, so there is, even if you are not well organized, you can succeed. Even if you are well organized, you can succeed, etc., etc. So it's a perfect field for me. Okay.
That was a superb conclusion, Thierry. I thank you very much, and I sincerely hope to have you back sometime.
Just one point. Also, it's a field when you can perform private practice. You can do private practice. I don't do private practice at all. Okay, but you can do private practice. So it's a clearly open field. Thank you, Thomas. Huh?
Thank you.
I think we share a lot of ideas together.
That's right.